Well, hello everyone. Hello Terra people. I'm on the back porch today. It's really nice. It's an old screen-in porch that we used to use a lot, but now it is kind of a holding place. But anyway, it was so nice. I said, well, I got enough room for a chair and enough room to put my camera out. So, excuse me while I take my glasses off because then I can read better. I'm at that stage. Well, anyway, this is a VR about herbs and some books. Diane Jackie was asking what I would recommend for herb books, and I will do that. But before I go into that, I want to talk a little bit about how I'm doing with my eating, because I don't want to say because I told Diane and Jennifer Ball that I would start November 1st. Yeah. Interesting month. I'm usually pretty good at what I eat. Eating healthy is not generally that hard of a thing for me to do. It's just, holding on to stuff is my biggest problem. Anyway, I'm in menopause, which means I'm going through menopause. That means I'm still apt to have my menstrual cycle from time to time. I've gone, in the last 2 years, I've gone 4 months without a menstrual cycle, and then it will start. And then I've gone several months, a couple of months, and then it will start. And so I hadn't had a cycle since the end of August. It's the end of November, and she decided to show up. The week before she showed up, I wanted to eat like crazy, which is not an unusual thing just before a menstrual cycle starts. At least not for me. That's been pretty normal my entire life. So I don't eat bread. That's not on my menu. But I was craving pizza like crazy. So I ended up having a couple of pizzas, and one was kind of like a Thanksgiving pizza. But now I don't have the craving for the pizza anymore. It's like I had the pizza, I'm over it, I'm done with it. But it took me back to a memory of when I was younger. I ate nothing but pizza, but I lost weight. But I was so happy. That time when I was eating mostly pizza, I was, like with my friends, I had a part-time job, 3:30 to 8:30 in the evening. It was perfect. I could go out before or after work, have a great time with my friends. I was just such a happy place. And so it was like the weight just fell right off me. And of course I was 10 times more active than I am now. But the point was I was in such a happy space. And that happiness seemed to transcend no matter what I was doing. I was just so happy. I think that's a clue. So anyway, now on to why I really wanted to do the video. Well, I wanted to talk about that too. I just thought I would do it in one video. So hope you have stayed with me. And maybe I'll put a timestamp on where I start talking about herbs. I'm an herbalist. I am trained in therapeutic herbalism, but Blazing Star Herbal School was a one weekend a month course for a year. I also worked at Wise Way Herbals for good 2 years. It was probably a little bit more than 2 years. So I learned that was like a working apprenticeship, basically, because you're immersed in the herbs and you learn, right? So that's my training, and ever since then I've done my own study, and I am just in love with herbs, and there's just no way about it. Or plants. Let's call it plants, because all plants are herbs, and all herbs are plants. So Diane wanted me to recommend some books you can read. And so I'm going to recommend some books, and then I'm going to talk on another separate video about what I call Herbalism 101. I did and I will see if I can find the link and put that below to a talk I did with on internet radio, and I called it Herbalism 101. But I will also do that on my own videos. So the first book I want to recommend, and this might be really the best one to start out with because it is so well written. It's called Invasive Plant Medicine: The Ecological Benefits and Healing Ability of What We Consider Invasive Plants. And it's written by Timothy Lee Scott. I think this is this book came into my life just recently, but I would say this would be the best book to ever start out with, because number one, it's a very good read. It reads really well. It flows, and the way he weaves in the story of a way we have destroyed the ecology in many areas, it's well worth the read. And then I would, from there, let me see, I think I would go on to, this is another one of my favorites. It's called Botany in a Day, because after all, studying plants is botany. And I will say, even though a study of plants to me is a spiritual journey, believe me, it became a spin. But not Botany in a Day is by Thomas J. E. Pelz, and I will put these in the link below. But this is he's based in Montana, so basically most of the plants work for the eastern half of the United States too. And a book that I don't have with me for this is kind of like a field guide, but this is a great book because it really breaks things down for you. Is Peterson's Field Guides. They are excellent. I have plant ones, and there's also a medical herbal on Peterson Field Guides. I don't know from my friends down under in Australia and New Zealand, if you have a Peterson Field Guide, or across the pond, but whatever field guides that you have, that would be the best bet. And the next book is, I live in a city. There's no herbs that I can find in a city, right? Wrong. Not right. Wrong. The next book is A City Herbal by Madeline Silverman. And this is also a good elementary book, like ABC's. She has a lot of folklore in here. Locate and identify wild herbs of abandoned lots, parks, and sidewalks. And it really is. You can find herbs everywhere. They just, they grow. Believe me. And then my other book is by Michael Tierra, who did the Herbal Tarot, which I don't like, but I do like his books. Okay, this one is The Way of the Herbs, and this is mostly about Eastern herbs. I have another one, and it's all about Chinese herbs. So he is a good writer. He has a lot of information in these. So hopefully this recorded, and what I want to do next is break it down for you, how to really, what is in a plant, because it helps you understand how pharmaceuticals are made, and it helps you understand how we have to be careful not to put our herbs into a pharmacological context. And that will be my next talk on herbalism, and I'll be back to talk about tarot, because I kind of feel like the unsuspected terrorist. But it fits. So, over and out.